Alright, so it's about time I make this video. People should mostly be receiving their keys. I have already got to my key like 4 days ago. I got it a bit later because I have missed some days. But yeah, so we're almost done it. Now I'm going to explain to you basically everything. So like what the gateway missions are, how to get the key needed, and which unit you should pick. Also reviewing the units one last time with a more in-depth look, I guess I should say. So we're gonna do that in this video. Now yeah, so the two units, it's Charmy and Noel. Now the best case scenario that I could kind of recommend very quickly, you pull one and then you pick the other. That's just how it is. Because it's two, it works out so much better that you could guarantee basically two, where three is much harder. But because also the rates are 0.75 per, it's a much better chance to like kind of get one of them that you want, and then like you pull the other one. But yeah, no, it's still 1.5%, which is nice because there's only two. So that's one of the good things, but also doesn't really help them. But anyway, so let's start with what the missions are for the gateway. Now, let me just make sure I have it in the right order. But this one is clear 50 patrol missions, patrol stages. So it's the overworld stages that you're going to see, right? So it's the ones out of 27 that has the stars. It's going to be that one. Then the one on the right is clear, or play 30 arena battles, not win, you just have to play. And then the other one on the left is clear 20 limited time challenges. So what I recommend doing is doing Hall of Illusions and then just like getting to the end. And like for the most part, you're going to be fine. It kind of sucks that I did most of it before Hall of Illusions before like I actually got the gateway. But yeah, just clear 20 of the Hall of Illusions. If not, you get like basically 6 daily. So like you could easily complete that very quickly. I'm gonna have to probably do some today. So afterwards, the next one is 5 dailies. So you have to complete your dailies 5 times. Very simple, right? Now this one is do Hall of Memories 3 times. So use 3 story tickets and Hall of Memories, and you're good. And this one is develop an accessory. So you go to Vanessa. We'll make one right now just for fun. So you go to Vanessa. Choose this one because the other 3 take SSR rank up shards. We'll do a UR one, actually. We'll do a UR one. So we'll use the HP and defense ones from the attack set. And hope we get a UR, you know, maybe they're gonna bless us. Well, okay, well, I guess they are not letting us do that. I am not buying more. But anyway, that's what you would do. You'd give in 10 and then you get some back. So yeah, those are the gateway missions. Pretty self-explanatory. It takes 5 days total. If you really count that it's like a 5-day lock, which kind of sucks. I wish you could complete it one day, but it's fine. Now, afterwards, we've got how to actually get the key from doing your monthlies, right? So you have to complete your daily missions 30 times to get this. Now, this does not exactly reset. It only resets when you complete all the missions, so it's never going to go away. Plus, it gives you the gateway, plus also a dupe, which is probably like the best type of like monthly reward ever. So you have to complete your daily missions 30 times. You've got to get someone to LR. You've got to do 50 patrol stages, if I remember correctly. It's either 50, sorry, my bad, this 50 is 50 arena battles. Okay, so the 50 is arena battles. Then this one is 30 limited time challenges, and then for the bottom 3, it's going to be get equipment to level 12, which means you have to use an LR because only LRs could get to level 12. Dismantle 50 equipment and then enhance 3 skills. Then you're done the missions. That is the monthlies. Now dismantle, just in case you're kind of new, you just go in here and then you dismantle like this. You're gonna press all, and then yeah, I do need to do this because I have been grinding gear because of the half stamina. But yeah, so that's basically it for the missions. Now actually getting in to the units. All right, so we're gonna talk about both units and then talk about all that. I don't actually have a opera thing up, so my bad for the lack of preparedness, I guess. But let's talk about it. So we got Noel and Charmy. Now there's only 2. Noel is a blue single target debuffer, and she is like a single target / AoE, very good unit attacker for red. Now red has good contest, but so does blue. So it's both of them, right? So it's like there's both good contests. For red, we've already got Noel and Asta, both SS tier units, and for blue, well, for debuffers, at least we've already got Lotus, and Nozel's not half bad now. But blue is just stacked in general. Like, amazing, good, bad, amazing, good, amazing, 2, amazing, and good, right? So like very strong competition. Blue is definitely probably the best color in the game, especially because Charlotte with the full blue team applies silence. Now let's talk about them. So Noelle is basically a skill point reductor, and also just like lowering it to make it so that you can't really buff, or you can't use your ultimate. So with the skill 1, you're just going to extend debuffs and apply an SP plus 1. Now on the skill 2, if you have skill page, which you probably will, it'll also apply block HP recovery, but not counting that, it applies magic attack reduction, taunts, and then SP minus 1. Now the magic attack reduction is mainly only going to be useful if you're applying this on a Noelle. So how this works is that what you could do is you could taunt, and that's going to stop Noelle from using her shield or any other person, because a taunt makes it so that you cannot use buff skills. Now the magic attack is only going to be useful on attackers that are magic attack alongside the taunt, because for any like tanks like Rhodes, who would basically be how can I say this? Rhodes will like basically suffer from the taunt, but the magic attack reduction will not affect him because he's not doing damage either way on his skill 1 or skill 2 attacks. But on a DPS, obviously they do magic attack damage, and mainly the good DPSs are magic attack units. So we've got what, like Charmy, Noelle, Julius, right? The 3 best DPSs in the game, in my opinion. Alongside Asta, but he's attacked. He's the only one, really. So that's basically how it works. Now, this is only going to be good for DPSs, but for anyone else who's going to be needing the taunt, this won't really matter. And also SP minus 1 on all enemies, which is really good. Now, that is also very nice in combination with your skill page, because you get the -1 on all enemies, but then you also have a chance to get the -1 on all enemies again with the skill 1 when you take damage. So it's going to be a nice like combo, but it's when you take damage, so it's not like you could stack the -1 on all enemies right away, which does kind of suck. But because it's when you're attacked, it could happen like 3-4 times, and you could just like make it so that they're fucked over, right? Now this is also a really good one. The ultimate's just as good. So it removes all buffs, -3 SP, and then weapon disarm. This to me is like insane. Getting the weapon disarm makes it 34% damage reduction, plus the -3 makes it so that they're disabled basically. Then you remove their buffs. So overall, this is like one of the best ultimates in the game. Decent single target damage, but overall what helps her is her 112 speed, which if we check the speed, she is up there, right? She is this. And then you don't use Gordon, you don't use Gul'dari, you don't really use Ghost too much, so she's like top 5 in like good units for speed, right? So that is definitely huge. Now her passives are what make her even crazier and make her viable in both PvE and PvP. If you need a grinder for like blue, this is definitely someone you'd want to use, because her LR passive is going to make it so that she applies 30% incapacitate on all enemies every wave. So like when you start a new wave, there's 3 waves in a PvE battles. When you start a new wave, it's gonna apply this again. So like for Hall of Illusions, she'll also be pretty nice. It's gonna reapply the debuff, 30% increased damage taken every time. And if you have a max dupe, it's also gonna remove a continuous HP recovery on all enemies when you're attacked, which is a very good counter to Charmy 2. Now her unique passive is amazing for PvP. It's gonna put 40% reduced damage dealt on attacker class enemies if there is no Mars that stops debuffs first turn. So it's gonna be very good. This usually does apply even if there's a Mars, because Mars has 1 turn debuff block, but for some reason this applies, this doesn't on attacker class, which means yeah, it's going to be very useful. So like everything about her is good. She stops like shields being used, she stops buffs, she stops heals, right? She stops ultimates, she makes the enemies do less damage, she reduces skill points a fuck ton, she increases damage taken and reduces damage dealt. First turn, these guys are fucked, right? Because they get 30% incapacitate plus 40% weapon disarm turn 1 on attackers, which is insane. Plus she has high speed, so she's gonna be able to target people very quickly. Very good unit. Now Charmy, where's Charmy? So Charmy is also really good at max dupes. She's at 109 speed, so I really recommend that if you do have Charmy and you have Noelle, probably getting dupes of Charmy is better, considering her dupe passive is also better. But let's just talk about her. So her main thing is her ultimate that applies a pumpkin pie effect. Now this effect is going to be increasing damage every time it is passed on to another person. So how it works is that the person you attack gets it applied on them, and then every person, so like when it's the turn of the person the pumpkin pie is on, it's going to randomly go to someone else, and when it's the other person's turn, it's going to go to someone else up to 5 times. The 5th turn, it's going to do 600% attack and magic attack, which is better than 600% increased damage. Because how it works is like, okay, so let's say like you're doing like 20k, right? So you do 20k, but you do 600% damage, so times what, like times 6, right? So this is gonna be 120k. But if you so like if you're also doing small damage, the 600% increased damage dealt won't actually be that insane. unless the multiplier is different, but it should be just like a 6 times increase. Where if you have like, I don't know, like 15,000 magic attack, right? So 15,000, no, usually you'd have like 30,000, right? It would be like times 6, but then there's all the other stuff. So like overall, you're getting a bigger damage increase. Like mathematically, it should usually be a bigger damage increase. That wasn't a good math. I'm not a mathematician. I'm sorry, guys, but you should be getting a bigger damage increase for big skills with big percentages from attack and magic attack instead of damage dealt. Now, what it's going to do also, it's going to apply burn on every person it goes on. And because she has high stats, it's going to be very good. So it's going to be very nice. And it goes up to 600%, which is a guaranteed attack. Now, her skill 2 AoE is it's the second highest AoE damage, and it's a skill 2. Usually, it's 120% at level 5 for alts. This is 125% for a skill 2 at level 5. Now, what it's going to do, it's also going to immediately remove the pumpkin pie. So let's say it's like the third turn, right? You're going to do like 200% damage, which is going to be very good still, but it's going to remove the pumpkin pie, so it can't get to the 600%. But if you have the dupe passive, it's going to make the pumpkin pie effect deal continuous burn damage for 2 turns to all enemies. Now, I want to make sure that that's at dupe 2, because look, if we check in game real quick, right now I have her dupe 4, so it's for 1 turn. Sorry, wait, no. Yeah, okay, so you do, what does it increase then at dupe 5? Does it even increase? Like, I'm trying to, oh wait, there's a second part to it. Okay, wait, what is the second part? So the second part is at the start of turn, burn persist. So you add another 2 burns, but okay, so it's basically just adding more burns. Okay, that's good then. Okay, so anyway, basically, what this is going to do is it basically, if you do use the skill 2 while the pumpkin pie effect is still on someone, everyone's going to take 2 burn stacks, and then if you're max dupes, it's going to be even more than that, which is going to be very good. Now, what also is very good about her, she has a combo which removes barrier. So if you pair her up with someone who uses their combo like Charlotte, it's going to be very nice later on into the fight. Also, we'll talk about the skill page in a bit. She also has immortality, right? So it's going to be very good for that. Now, one thing is, whenever the pumpkin pie's on someone, if she has a skill page, she gets a guaranteed stun on the person with the pumpkin pie. And what's even crazier is that she basically gets a full heal if you have like her skill page higher dupes. So for people who wailed, her skill page is amazing because it goes up to a 100% recovery of HP if you attack someone with a burn already, which most people will have burn if you're using Charmy. So she has immortality, which is going to be very good for a burn unit because the burns are going to keep on going, and then she's going to be able to tank, which is very good for her high speed combo. So everything's very nice about that. She's going to burn, do great damage with the ultimate pumpkin pie if it gets to the final turn. Even if she dies, she's still like helping the team, which is great. She gets stuns on her skill 1 if she has skill page, and she does a very nice AoE damage because it seems like it doesn't do much, but then you're like, oh shit, it's 125% multiplier AoE, which is very good with her high stats. So overall, this unit's very good. Now, who should you pick? So I have some notes with me. Now, you should be picking Charmy, first of all, if you don't have both Red Asta. Oh, sorry, if you don't have both Red Asta and Noelle. I think that's probably better. Now, I'd say it affects you more if you don't have Red Asta because she's more of a single target than Noelle. So I would say definitely Charmy is going to be very good if you don't have Red Asta, so definitely go for Charmy in that case. Now, also, you got to realize Charmy is going to be an amazing burn unit now and in the future because of her immortality. Immortality units just seem to last longer. Like, Fuego is going to be very good, so is Charmy, and so is Lich. Lich is still very useful because of his immortality mainly. Even though he does good damage, it's like that immortality for 1 turn is clutch. So if you're planning on pulling for Mereoleona, remember, she should be coming out in like 4 to 5 months, but Charmy should still be good by then, unless the meta shifts like greatly. I could see Charmy being very good with her, and I don't see them releasing many more burn units in the near future, because we're gonna get Langris, right? And then as for like cannon units, there's not many more fire units coming out, so I would say they're not going to release another seasonal fire unit because we already have 2, like season 4 and 5. So Mereoleona is going to be probably the next burn unit if we're being real. So yeah, Charmy going to be very good with her, especially because she has good speed, so definitely consider that. Now, if you have both red DPSs, Red Asta and Noelle, and you're not really going to be pulling for Mario, definitely pick Noelle. And there's certain like cases, first of all, if you already have some Charmy dupes, definitely go for the extra Charmy dupe from the gateway. Now, if none of that fits your case, right, and you have a lot of good blue units, like if you have Charlotte, definitely pick Noelle. But if you have Charlotte and Julius, like I feel like Noelle is going to be very good with that team, because Charlotte's just like that crazy, and Julius with Noelle is just an insane combo, right? You're very safe if you put Noelle with Julius because Noelle's going to reduce their damage and make it so they can't use certain skills. And yeah, no, Noelle's going to be very good for that. And if you don't really have Lotus or like you don't have a strong PvE blue team, go for Noelle. Now, if you're missing both and you like kind of need both, I would say the person that's more useful is Noelle, because the blue gear stage is like, if you're okay, let's talk for earlier accounts. Definitely picking Noelle is going to be the better case, because she's going to probably help you more in PvP, where Charmy, I feel like, needs a bit more build up than Noelle, but Noelle's going to be helping you clear and quench through early PvP, stopping any DPSs like Noelle, Julius, right, completely, where Charmy later on is definitely the better unit in my eyes. But they're both like around the same tier. It's like this is a very good season in terms of like these two are good, and we could imagine Yuno and Langris will both be good. So this is going to be the best season by far, bar none. So I'm very happy about that, but it does make it hard. Now, listen, the best option, pull one, choose the other. That's like what I'm telling every free to play. You do 5 multis, 1.5% rate for the new unit, for the new units, plural. But that's like the highest featured rates ever. Like, there's not really, Genshin's rate is 1.6 for a 5-star. We have 1.5% for the new units. So yeah, definitely pull one, choose the other is my motto for how you do this. And usually for like 3-unit banners, all 3 units are not good, so it's like you pull one of the 2 good ones, then you choose the other, is how I see them. But for both of these being good, you choose one here, you pull the other. So yeah, that's just how it is. Now, I hope this helped you. If it didn't, just leave a dislike and you know, blast me in the comments. Blast me in the comments, you know, give me the traction, and you know, we'll be good. I'll appreciate it, you know, I will appreciate it. So yeah, anyway, I like Charmy more, but they're both really fun. But like no, like Charmy, definitely, like, I'm using her right now in the PvP. I think that she's very fun. This team is the team I'm using. She goes very well with Julius, but so does Noelle, right? It's just, that's how it is. But this team later on, it cooks, right? Because she's there to like basically soak up damage from blue units, because blue units will attack her, and blue units are kind of like the only single target like gods in this game, because red has Noelle, and people don't really use red Asta that much, and green has no good DPS right now, except for Jack, who's like a pretty good, solid replacement for Charmy in this team. Julius is just that good, you know. But anyway, Noelle, amazing. Charmy, amazing. Good luck choosing who you want. If you're going to pull from Mario, please choose Charmy.